We are live. Hi, everybody. It's another Tuesday, but this one's a special Tuesday. It's a thankful Tuesday this Tuesday. In honor of Thanksgiving, we're here to spread gratitude and appreciation. And uh, I'll introduce myself in a minute. For now, I'm gonna pass it to Jerome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday Live. As Brooke mentioned, it is a special Tuesday for us. It's a thankful Tuesday. In lieu of Thanksgiving coming this Thursday, we are going to be opening up the floor for discussion on appreciation, thankfulness, the whole nine. So with that being said, let's go ahead and introduce everyone. We have a couple new recent graduates with us today, so I'll go ahead and pass the gavel over to you guys. We'll start with Christine first. Go ahead and just let everybody know who you are, Christine.
I'm Chris McCarran. I'm a real estate agent and now life coach in the Boston area.
Awesome. And next up, we have Tierra.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Tierra De Guzman. I live in Chicago, Illinois, and work as a career coach, as well as now a life coach.
Awesome. And we have Ray here with us today as well. So it's even more of a special Tuesday. So we'll have Ray give her a little bit quickly.
Hey everyone, it's good to be with you guys. Excited to be on this special holiday Tuesday live. And I am a conscious executive coach, along being with one of the lead facilitators for Certified Life Coach Institute.
And we have Fairy Godmother with us as well. Lisa is here.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for watching. We're excited to share with you today about our Thankful Tuesday. We've got another topic, replacing expectation with appreciation. Kind of feels like a dance.
That's like a rhyme.
So we're going to get started with sharing the lovely graduates with us today. Quickly share with us what or how you felt about your weekend, because you both just were there this last weekend. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Still, for me, still definitely processing all of this amazing information I learned. Luckily, I have tons of copious notes that I can go back to and refer to, but still, I think I'm still in the period of like processing both what changed and shifted for me personally. While also thinking how I can use the skills I learned to transform other people's lives. So I'm in this space of learning still, even post training.
So when you're speaking, are you comfortable in sharing a little bit about what that transition was for you?
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the things that I have always struggled with when it comes to who I am as a coach is my own brand as a person who's very warm, a person who's very approachable, and how sometimes when I communicate information, it maybe doesn't come off as, I always feel like I have to be more serious, if that makes sense. That is something I've like come into a lot, especially being a career coach who works mostly with engineers, that I feel like I have to speak about things in a certain way in order for it to be received by the audiences that I'm working with. And I feel like this weekend gave me greater insight into the fact that I can be this fun, playful, warm and approachable person and use the skills, and that often the clients that I'm supposed to have are going to just come to me, and that I don't have to change who I am in order to find those people. So that was one of the bigger shifts for me personally.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Christine?
Sure. As a real estate agent, I've always asked people like about their goals, and I want to know what they want rather than just say, oh, go buy this place. I've always tried to elicit a lot of information from them and stuff, but going to the Institute gave me a lot of new tools that I can use to ask questions in a different way and to help them to kind of, especially when there is a couple, because sometimes one person's doing all the talking and you're not really sure until you actually start seeing places that other person was not on board, or that there were conversations they hadn't had. So I think it's going to make me much better. And I'm thinking now, though, because originally that was my intention, was just to use these skills. But now I'm thinking that it could actually be like that people could come to me for coaching and they could end up being real estate clients instead of that they would, that I would actually have a coaching business instead of just having this as an asset to my other business, because I really enjoyed it and got a really great feeling like when we had our practice sessions a couple of times. I really connected with the people and they were able to share some really deep stuff. And I felt like though we had a short period of time, that they made some real progress. And that felt so good. I thought, oh, wow, maybe I could do this. This could be a thing,
Could be a thing in all kinds of different ways. In fact, whether it's the actual end person, the people that are buying a house, or whether it's other real estate people, as Tierra, you can be still working with the engineers or their spouses, or on there's all so many ways to already use the wisdom that you have and incorporate who you are and blossom from there. Yeah. So welcome. Thank you. Ms. Brooke.
Hi, everybody. I am Brooke, and I want to really quick say hi to Barbie and say hi to Jared. And on that note, I want to remind anybody out there who's watching to say hi, everybody, to interact, comment. We are monitoring the comments and we will respond. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. We are here. There are 6 of us and we are all coaches, every one of us. So if you have any coach questions on this Thankful Tuesday, ask away. So why don't we get started with some gratitude, shall we? First of all, let's talk about the word, gratitude or being thankful, and sort of what does that mean to you guys? And you guys anybody can throw it out there anytime.
I'm gonna throw an answer. I can say that for me, it fills my heart with warmth and love and I was gonna say appreciation. That's kind of the same thing. Positive emotion, if you will, where I may get teary-eyed, but it's because of the happiness, not because I'm sad. Pass the baton on to who's going next.
I got it. Okay. So when I think of appreciation, I immediately think of gratitude. And I really believe that gratitude is probably one of my top life values. And it's a space that I always over exaggeration, is a space that I am always leaning into, is seeing the gratitude in everything, the appreciation through the highs and the lows, the ebbs and the flows, and knowing that everything is here to serve me and to find that appreciation in every moment.
I think that dovetails nicely into the concept of replacing expectation with appreciation in many ways, because it's in any given moment when we're feeling like, our expectations aren't being met, or we're not, getting there or not, we can always pause. And instead of thinking of that, right, go, wait, what can I be grateful for? Because there's something in everything that we can be. Really, there is. I think even some of the worst moments, there are times that I could be grateful in them, and there are lessons that I've learned that I'm grateful for. So I think that gratitude, both giving is as powerful as receiving as well. And I think that it's one of my favorite things to do, is to just, I wish that people were as sometimes, and this is as free with their positivity and grateful and as they were with the other side sometimes, I wish there was positive Tourette's. But it's true. Jerome, what is gratitude for you?
Gratitude for me is just a sense of fulfillment. It's something that's, I feel like it's easier felt than it is explained. Kind of like Lisa was mentioning, it's an influx of positivity. I can point it out when I have that sense of happiness filling me up. That's kind of, I guess, again, a little more difficult for me to explain rather than to actually feel. But that is my best in kind of explaining it.
And one of our new graduates, either one.
Yeah, I would say for me, gratitude is about tapping into joy. I often think of the elder people in my like family line, like my grandparents and great grandparents and things like that, always focusing on joy, like making a way out of no way, that sort of rhetoric. And it always makes me think like, okay, like things may not be perfect, but there's always something I can be joyful for, and continuing to be grateful even in tough circumstances, I think is usually how I make sense of gratitude.
And I agree with everyone, but also, you know, Lisa was saying feeling your heart filling, and that's what I think of when I because gratitude just builds on itself, right? You can start off by saying, oh, I'm so grateful that I was able to wake up this morning and, you know, swing my legs over by myself and stand up. And I mean, there's so many things when you start to think about other people and what they don't have, and even they are grateful for something. And the more you think about it, you know, the bigger it gets, and it just really invites in so much more positivity. And it's one of the, I feel like it's one of the easiest, if you can get started on a gratitude like a snowball, right? If you can get it started, then it just gets getting bigger and bigger, and you just start to feel really like glowy.
We should do a gratitude challenge. But it's true, like it's palpable, right? Gratitude, when you start to be, I start to feel it in my heart. Like I start to have a physical like feeling of warmth sort of and filling happen, and it's kind of even just like hearing you guys talk, it's happening, and that's just so cool. I think it's also really neat how it's a neat demonstration of how everybody has their own interpretation, right? Everybody has their own perspective, but from the same word, and that's really I love that. I love that different perspectives come into play in everything. So Lisa?
The cool thing when you share gratitude with others while we are in the process of giving a gift to them, we are in the process of receiving a huge gift in return. That energy exchange is beautiful. I was texting with someone last night who helped me with something, and it just, I sent the gratitude to them, appreciation for their help, blah, 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 blah. They sent it back. I sent it back to them. It was like a ping pong of gratitude. It was making me smile big.
It becomes a big love fest, right?
Yeah, we're both doing it very genuinely, and that's the beauty of things. I mean, we've heard of the pay it forward concept, or the Starbucks go in line and pay for the person behind you. I've done that as well, and it's the beauty of giving that gives us that, if you will, blessing.
Can I ask a question that might be a little controversial? Lisa's like, oh no. So is it possible to have an unselfish act? Can we ever in any moment be unselfish?
I think for me, I can say the attempt to be unselfish, yes, but I think in the end, because people are, for the most part, not everyone, of course, are giving in nature, they're going to give it back to us. Yeah.
I was trying to think, like, on a philosophical level, I had a really deep thought about this one. So what would be a truly unselfish act? Because you always kind of get something from giving, right? Like you get something in return, even if you don't intend to, it kind of happens. And I was like, it would have to be like my organs when I die. Like, you know,
that's something today from it. You know, you're going to benefit somebody in that future, right?
So I'm benefiting now, right? That's it.
I feel like everything we do is selfishly motivated, but selfishness isn't like a bad thing, right? We do this because for example, like if you think of a parent doing something for a child, they're doing that because they need to feel like they're a good parent. It's not, do you know what I mean? It all can be turned around so that we're doing it for ourselves. I mean,
Mhm.
Like you say, even the organs, like, oh, I can feel good. Like when I die, I'm gonna lose my organs.
No, I donated them to
I feel better.
Right?
But it's kind of, but that's what's so funny though, because it's kind of frustrating though on some level, right? Like, I don't know, for me, it is a little bit, I'm like, but then it's about, okay, wait, we embrace that it's not a bad thing to be selfish sometimes, right? It's not a bad thing to be selfish good, right?
Well,
It's survival. You have to be, really, in many ways too. Yeah. Mhm.
Define selfish. Selfish is take care of self.
Mhm.
Selfish is not taking care of yourself above and beyond and putting down somebody else. That's not the selfish we're talking about, right? We're talking about this really in a good time because there's a lot of, with this COVID stuff, people are isolated. There's a lot of people in need of, I'm starting to get emotional, sorry. There's a lot of people in need of reminding that they matter and that there's a lot to be thankful for, even in rough spots.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Reach
true.
out to anybody, to reach out. I mean, we've got many coaches here. Reach out and ask for help. Be grateful that the help is there.
That is one of the hardest things for me to do, like personally, to ask for help. Like, does anybody else have trouble asking for help? Like, I'm just like, no, I got it covered. And it is, and why, I mean, it's just, but that's not, it's actually, it's very powerful or strong to ask for help, really, but it feels like a weakness, doesn't it? Right?
I feel like asking for help is a superhero power. And this is the thing
Absolutely.
I'm actually leaning into, because I used to be that person that I got it, I'm strong enough, I don't need help. And then I have 20 things on my plate and it's becoming a, crap show. I don't want to cuss. And now I've learned, like, I just can't do it all. You just can't do it all. And there's some things that I'm great at and other things that I'm not great at. And I'm finally knocking on doors and asking for people to help. And it's like, please help me so that we can support humanity faster, or I can get to my goals faster and I can help you get to your goals faster. So I really believe if we can ask for help, this place would be a happier and healthier world if we did.
I think too, though, help is much like gratitude, and much like, and when you ask for help, you're helping too, because everybody needs to be kind of needed or feel like they have a value and they have a purpose. And by asking for help, you're giving them that space that they can be, that they can show you something they're good at or excel at. And actually help you. And there's something very powerful about that and very fulfilling, right?
Jerome? Also, in addition to that, in a space where you're working with other people, it is a superpower to ask for help, because there's some instances where, you're just being stubborn, you refuse to do so. And by asking for help, you allow things to kind of fall in line and to progress better than they would have if you didn't. So it kind of works on multiple facets to be able to help others around you.
Yeah,
and you take oh, I'm sorry.
Yara, we'll get you next, Yara, don't worry.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. You take responsibility for who you are in that process, and knowing when you need help, when you can reach out. Sometimes you go, well, who can I reach out to? Right? You've got to find those people and reach out. Just keep reaching for them. Tierra, I'm really
Yeah, I was gonna say, learning how to ask for help has been a huge lesson this year, in particular with the pandemic, because I am a whole extrovert. Let me tell you, I thought I was an introvert. No, I guess because I was like, I like solitary activities, like I like reading alone. That's not what that means. So I learned this year that I'm an extrovert. And so the amount of times I have been in my apartment, because I live by myself, and I've had to be like, hey, can you please go with me on a walk, please? Like I really need to see a person in person today. Can it be you, And I remember at the beginning of the pandemic having a really tough time asking for that because I was like, I don't want to come off as needy and I don't want to keep bothering my friends. And one of my friends told me, which has just stuck with me, she was like, Tierra, what if you asking for help is everything to someone? And I was like, whew, that's, yeah. So the amount of times I've relied on my friends to support me and like come over safely if they're a part of my pod or like we've gone on a walk has been a lesson in asking for help and how you just need to know your needs and be okay with asking for those.
You know what's really cool? I have a horrible. Well, I refuse to do laundry. I just refuse. And so I reached a point that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hire somebody, but I don't know who to hire. I don't know how to do. So I put it. Next door. I put an ad out, and it took me months before I like finally allowed myself to entertain this idea. But in the process, I met one of the coolest women who has like welcomed me into her family in many ways. And her whole family is very cool. And she invites me to dinner now. I mean, she'd probably have me come over every day, but it was probably about once a week that I go over there. And just somebody I would never normally have met or, interacted with, but because I put it out there, okay, I need help. And we ended up helping each other, and now we're friends. And it was very, very cool totally unexpected. And it's the same, actually, there's three people that I've done this with now with Nextdoor, where I put up ads and then we ended up just becoming fast friends. And it's just I think people they miss people. So yeah, right.
So today I was coaching a client, and she went from working a full-time corporate job to staying at home, being a domestic engineer. And then on top of that, with COVID, she is homeschooling her kids. And today, the whole theme of her coaching session was, I don't feel important because nobody else outside my family needs me. And so she was used to getting the validation through her employer and her coworkers. And then she had done some, other things outside of work. And now without COVID, she's like, I don't feel important. She's like, I don't feel seen, So I think that asking for help will support someone in feeling important. And I think that's like really, can really support people right now in this time. And getting their frequency and their vibration happier and higher for themselves.
So what's one thing, if you guys can think about something that you went through where you didn't ask for help and that you finally did? Brooke shared with us on a place where she made that transition. Where do you think, or can you think of a time when you made that transition?
Maybe not one. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Christine. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems silly, but I'm renovating my house, and I had, I reached out to a plumber, and the people weren't getting back to me, and I was just having all this frustration because I need to have the plumbing to finish the house. So
just a little bit.
I finally said, this is it. I'm going on Facebook, and I'm just going to ask all my friends who can recommend a plumber. And so it was great because like 6 people, I got 6 different names. I called them all. One called me back, but he couldn't do it. But then anyway, long story short, I have some plumbing now. That was such a blessing, I got to tell you, because I was just at my wit's end. And I kept trying to do things myself, like trying to find other ways of finding a plumber. And the only reason this other person is working with me is because the person who recommended him is somebody who they do a lot of work together. So I had her cred, I had her referral was the only reason that, even though everybody's busy, that this person called me back. So it was like a double helping.
So when you think of that in between moment, when you didn't have the help, that moment that you were about ready to, what allowed you, because that's where a lot of people get stuck, is they don't allow themselves to go to that next. What allowed you to go to that next step?
Well, it's going to sound even more crazy than just the plumbing story, but until that time, it had not occurred to me to ask like Facebook friends for help. I was just like banging my head against the wall, like, what else can I do to find a plumber? I've looked through all these different resources. And then suddenly it was just like, ask for help. Like it was the little voice from inside. And I thought, well, gee, that seems really obvious, doesn't it? But yeah, it took me a while it wasn't natural for some reason. And yeah, it's just opening up, I guess, to that little voice that knows a lot more than I do.
So finding that natural space and allowing yourself to let it be present. Okay. Thank you. Tierra?
Ooh, I'm still honestly, I think this past weekend at training, allowing myself to be vulnerable and asking, and even like asking your coach for help, like, and actually saying the real issue and not just the like, I'm like the surface issue, like I need more sleep or things like that. I can remember a particular session this past weekend where I felt comfortable enough to be in a space to be vulnerable about work and some challenges there, and sort of seeing the coach, like, first of all, light up and be like, wow, thank you for sharing that, and sort of affirm me in that moment, while also being able to then get the tools. And being seen often when you need help is like one part of getting the help that you need, like getting that feeling of like, ooh, okay, the secret is gone. This is like very Brene Brown, right? That vulnerability and shining a light on it so that the people see it, right? So I feel like that was the first outcome that came from me being willing to open up and ask for help and be vulnerable with the coach at the time. But then the second piece, of course, is then you can actually get like practical help. Like you can get into a conversation with yourself where you figure out, what do I need to do in order to make this issue better for myself? So that hop where you just go, okay, I'm willing to be seen in the space. Like, and then you just like, make that little squeak as you fall off the cliff, but luckily somebody's there, or somebody was there in this instance to like catch you.
What allowed you in that space to go from, and maybe it wasn't necessarily a conscientious decision just to go there, because you probably got some feedback, which is what I kind of heard, that the coach affirmed you, but what allowed you, again, this is where people tend to get stuck. They get stuck in their head, like we've heard. They get stuck in their head and can't think to go out towards someone. What allowed you to do that?
I think it was honestly, I think it was the openness of the person I was talking to, because that's another thing I think when it comes to asking for help, you only go to certain people. You don't go to, sometimes you don't go to everyone, right? Like you choose who you're willing to ask for help in different situations. And the person I was talking to was very open, looked excited to see me, was like, what are we going to work on today? And spoke in a way that made me feel like it was safe enough for me to ask. So I think in this particular situation, it was less of, there was a jump for me, but it was also the reception from the other person that I was receiving that helped me.
I think you touched on a really good point there. It's that creating a safe space in many ways. I mean, we can throw ourselves out there asking for help, and there's certain arenas where it can be very public, but when it comes to that more intimate help moment, you really have to kind of feel a sense of safety and security a lot of times with the folks that you're asking. And it's amazing how a person's energy can just crack some, and holding a space for it, and just being quiet and listening and not judging and just allowing you to share and be you can just crack you open, because I think at the end of the day, we all want to be cracked open a bit, and it's just, we're trying to find somebody to crack us. Right? And we're like, I've got yolk in here.
Scrabble it up.
This is seasonal, the nutcracker, right? Like that's what we're looking for. This is
but it's kind of, I mean, but I mean, when I meet somebody, this is something I am grateful for, insanely grateful for. When you meet somebody that I meet somebody that I just can it's just calm, natural, like I can just be me with, and there's just this like, oh, you get it, you get me. There's no like, it's just, and you can just, there's something so special about those moments. And that's not to say you can't have them with everybody, but when you reach that point with somebody, you know, and sometimes it's right off the bat, sometimes it takes a little while, but that is just such a cool moment when you can be authentic and just you know, you with somebody. And I'm grateful for all the people I can be me with. Which I mean, I am for the most part, me, but you know, there's some things only a few people need to see.
Right? What is your input on this?
Are you asking me or Jerome?
Yeah, Ray, what is your input on this?
There's just several different things just coming through. Is just this space of, you know, it's interesting. I just had my human design reading today, and she was telling me that, you know, a space I need to lean into is finding someone that I can trust and that can hold my hand, because I am the way I make decisions is through my emotions. And she said that I need to learn to find someone that I can trust and say, hey, hold my hand to the very, very end. And that isn't easy for me. I can ask for help, but to lean in and say, hey, you're going to be my ride or die person. I just don't feel like I found that person. So, you know, cracking yourself open like an egg and being vulnerable, that's another space that like I'm leaning into right now. So
It means you can be hurt, right?
Well, yeah.
It's a trust thing. Is at the end of it, I have to trust someone. Like, if I tell you this, you're not going to go share it with X, Y, Z. And so I'm about to get emotional. That's hard for me. It's really, really hard to trust someone because I've been hurt so many times by my upbringing and dating people and friendships. And so, yeah, definitely a space to lean into.
I think I don't think you're alone in that in any way, shape, and or form. I think that I think a lot of people, we've all been hurt. We've had our trust rattled at one time or another. And often when it gets sideswiped, we can get a little gun shy with regards to getting close to people again. So what has to happen for somebody to be your ride or die?
No, just building an authentic relationship. So, and one, you got to be vulnerable. You have to let your guard down. You can't find that ride or die BFF with your guard up. It's just never going to happen. So, I mean, in a way, you just got to keep trying, and you might keep, you know, falling and failing and falling off the cliff, but you got to find the lessons learned and the appreciation through it. So you got to be all in with everything. You just got to be, what's the word I want to use? Open. You know, you just can't go in with any blocks or, you know, any ways to protect yourself. You just got to go in. Well, see, I'm going to counteract you a little bit, because I had a phase in my life where I had really awesome close friends, and then we've parted ways. I went through a divorce, and now they're not. And I can't look at those friendships because they were ride or die, and I can't go, but they weren't at the end of it, but they were. It just, that was the time I had with them, you know, and that was what it was meant to be. And it doesn't make it any less powerful or special or amazing, you know. And maybe by having expectation, like you know, you got to be all in, you've got to be X, you got to be Y, you got to be Z. We aren't creating a space that allows people to be themselves wholly and completely. And just maybe your ride or die takes a little while to warm up, you know, like, and you're just not giving them a chance, you know. I mean, I kind of think of it like almost dating someone. You know, like, it is going to take, you got to ease your way into it, and then you build your trust that way. I mean, or you could be just upfront and be like, what is your life values? What is your communication style? What is your expectations of our friendship? And, lay it all out. Or like you said, Brooke, just ease and grace and
because I think that
build on top of it.
I think no matter what, though, people can talk about it all day. I am X, Y, or Z, but it's action that really is going to make the pavement hit the road, right? Or the wheels. I mean, I can say I'm this, that, and the other, but I got to prove that.
The emotion. It's going to be that heart-centered connection and the ability to support that. Sometimes one person tends to support it more than another person. If you're in a balanced relationship, it comes back. Sometimes it becomes a challenge, but that heart connection, that's where it's going to be. And in order to trust that heart connection, we're going to get hurt. But the other side of that hurt is, can we get through it and find the gratitude of our learning in that process? Because the hurt tends to be about, as we have been saying, the expectation that we have. That's the mind, right? That expectation is the mind. But what's going to get us through is that heart and the value we have for one another, and the value we have for ourselves, to know the difference and to move forward with that. And that's where that movement, do something, it's getting involved. And even if I get hurt.
Yeah, at some point, I mean, that might happen, but if you're you and I'm me, let's talk it through, because we're both adults, right? Like, let's work our way through it. Like, we're not going to be perfect all the time. Things aren't always going to be puppies and flowers and kittens. Sometimes we might yell at each other, but that doesn't mean that I don't love you. We can't talk later. Like, I mean, not saying that yelling is the way to do anything, but I think that you do have to accept that sometimes it's going to hurt, but that's okay. I mean, you just got to work it through. Ray's like, no, I'm not going to, no, it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to.
But it's kind of
it's the hurt zone. It's all right.
It's that value that Ray was talking about a few moments ago, where you both have that same value, where you want to go through this and you want to learn and grow and be part of this.
Yeah.
It's when that person somehow, the other person has decided not to, that's when we get.
That's what the fear is, right? I think the fear for me is that the rejection, like that like thing where like, I'm going to be all in and right, and I'm willing to talk it through. I'm willing to work on it, and you're just going to disappear. And like that for me is worse than anything anybody can say or do. It's like, at least have a conversation with me. That's the stone wall, right? Real quick though, I want to say hi to Aisha, who has joined us, and I want to say hi to Sue, and I want to say hi to Kevin as well, who have commented.
How are you guys?
We're good. How are you?
Welcome. We didn't want to interrupt driving. We saw you were driving.
Yeah, we wanted to let you drive safely.
Sorry, I tried joining earlier, but I couldn't because I was driving. So I had to take the kids to New York today for their doctor's appointment, and on the way back, I got stuck in traffic. Yeah. So I'm going to try to log on to the computer so it's a little bit, more clear. So just in about like 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. We'll keep going around with this. And Jerome, I have something that you were going to say a while ago. Did we bypass you altogether?
No big deal, but I just quickly, here we go. Let's get Aisha back in with her computer.
I wanted to when we get the chance before it's over, for us to circle back to what Ray and I were just talking about, and maybe talk about a moment when maybe we had an expectation with somebody that and share a gratitude in sort of in it to counteract that, right? Where it was like, oh, this is somebody that I'm grateful for, that maybe I might have been, my expectations might have been hurt in this moment, but I can be grateful for this with them. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to think. So keep that in your mind. And then Jerome,
one of John Gottman's antidotes.
Yes, exactly.
What I was gonna say earlier was that transition from not being so comfortable with asking for help into that space of being comfortable asking for help. Really, I mean, since we're talking about appreciation, I appreciate CLCI because I mean, everyone that I work with,
Yeah.
makes it so easy and so comfortable to ask for help, because I've been used to for such a long time, kind of telling myself that if I do ask for help, it means that I'm adequate in this space or in this space. CLCI has made it really easy to go ahead and just open up and ask for help, and not only, kind of help you do it, help you understand how to do it and get through it so that you're making yourself a better person for it. So when I say that transition happened, it happened relatively recently. So I'm expressing my gratitude to you, CLCI. Thank you guys all.
We love you.
We do.
You guys.
What's amazing too is Jerome was one of the first people I started to ask for help with, especially when it came to at CLCI and work. And I don't know what I would do without you. I don't know what I would do without any of you. So I can't imagine, when I think about how it used to be just me and Lisa doing all the things that we now have people help us with. I don't know how we ever did it. I really don't.
I don't either. And then I did it on my own for a good portion of the time.
No clue.
Thank you guys for being here so much. Every one of you.
Aisha is set up for a proper introduction now.
Hi, yes, I'm set up. I'm ready. So I'm not sure what exactly you guys are talking about, because I just kind of was listening until now, and I kind of got logged in a little late. Can I ask? And then
So we're talking about Thankful Tuesday. We're talking about replacing expectations with appreciation, which is really about thinking about the things that we're grateful for and thankful for. How sometimes, we have come from one side to just ask for help, and it created something amazing. Encouraging, we've spoken about encouraging others to ask for help, especially this season usually is a time where people struggle so much, is reach out and ask for help, go to the right people that you need to ask help from. Even sometimes a stranger is a great person to ask help from. If family doesn't, you can't go to family for whatever reason, just get out, ask for help, get into a place of feeling grateful versus some of the other emotions, not to deny them, but not to be overwhelmed by them.
So my number one appreciation or gratuity this week, from bottom of my heart, is being able to take the class with Ray this past weekend. It's really, like, I did this class, Lisa, with you 5 years ago. I don't even know if you remember me. I always look at my certificate, but then life got in the way and I just never did anything. I have kids. I don't know if you saw them in the car, but they were home and I couldn't do anything because I had to be with them. But now that I was actually ready to go into this, just did the class again, and everything was just like, oh my God, a new world opened up. Just being with the coaches in class, being with Ray, and Thanksgiving by itself is just my biggest holiday that I look forward to every year. And I was really excited because last year my sister got married that weekend, so we missed our Thanksgiving. And we were really looking forward to it this year. We're like, you know what? Thank God there's no wedding. But then this class, I feel like, I don't know, I can't explain this to other people, and I think you guys might understand. My family, I can't even talk about this to them because there's no way they'll understand. But I feel like my mind, it opened up so much. And I wish I could explain to them, asking for help or talking about things sometimes, it really, it opens up a new world for you. Sometimes being coached or someone just talking about something, just being open. I wish, the next day I went to see my mom because I hadn't seen her for a couple of weeks. And I just wish that I could tell her everything I learned from here. But I didn't, because I know that, they would judge me, they wouldn't understand. And Ray, I don't know, I think you'll be excited or proud of me. So yesterday I actually coached somebody that I found. This one woman, she's been struggling with her life, her husband, and her like overall in general her life. I coached her for free. She's not even in this country actually. And at the end, she was actually happy and she was smiling. I couldn't have done this if I didn't do this course or if I didn't do this class, you know. I knew the right questions to ask her. I actually took her on visualization process. And like, what if you couldn't do this? And then what if you did do this? And by the end, she was like, you know, I can actually see it. It's still far, but I can see it. And after the coaching, like 1 hour session, it was voluntarily free. But at the end, I was like, you know, I felt the true power of giving, especially at this time of the year. And I called my husband right after. I'm like, I need to share something with you. I just got off the call with that woman, and she was really happy. Like she wants more help. I don't think she's gonna pay me because she's not working, but I'm willing to help her for free because I feel like even if I can change the life of one person, you know, I would feel so blessed that, you know, it was because of me that one person, something good happened in their life. So I'm just so thankful to be part of this group and be with you guys. I mean, this is amazing, and I feel like I'm blessed. So thank you guys.
You are blessed. Thank you so much for being a part. We call it family, being part of our family, revisiting family, and re-experiencing the class in a new way. We've gone through lots of amazing experiences and changes, and teachers. Our amazing Ray is fabulous. She can only know how fabulous we think she is, and know she is. We appreciate everyone's experience. Thank you for being here, Aisha.
Thank you for having me.
That was I mean, it just, I love it. It's ear to ear grins, you know. Best jobs ever, as far as I'm concerned. Like best jobs ever.
It's not a job though.
It's not. I mean, it's not. Even like the parts that are like, you know, this isn't my favorite. They're not bad. None of it's bad. Like none of it really is. And it's fan. I love it. I love being at CLCI. I love everything I do. So
very fulfilling, I feel.
Pardon?
I said it's very fulfilling.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, and it's also, I've found it's just neat to see people grow. It's neat to as other people learn, I learn as well. So, you know, even, I mean, I like attending the level 1 class and the level 2 classes because I learn from the students every single class because it's different every class. I mean, it is. And so I can learn in every single class, and it's I mean, what a gift that I get to drop in and just sort of be there and witness you guys going through these really awesome changes and sharing your lives and yourselves, and it's really a special thing, and I'm grateful for that. So, and quickly, Sue Bowles says, I'm thankful for coming across the LCI and the training, and I've received this year, loving being a coach and affecting lives. So yay. So you just love everywhere going on. So we have about 5 minutes or so left. So let's do final grateful thoughts, shall we? and then we're going to play my 1 minute game before we get off. We can do this now as a warm up if you want. Yeah, so I'm going to set a timer, and in 1 minute, if we can, let's think of every way we can say thank you to somebody, but all different ways if we can. So 1 minute of thinking of ways, and then maybe we'll do a coaching one afterwards, like one minute of ways to thank your client. If you think of a good one, Jerome, while I pull up the timer. So
we're all just gonna just say it out loud.
Just throw them out there, and I mean, we'll all just participate for 1 minute. Let's see what we come up with. So we'll do 1 minute of ways you can say thank you to people, different ways to say thank you. All right, here we go.
With no boundaries or restrictions.
No boundaries or restrictions whatsoever.
Well, I can say
no rules.
I can say mucho gracias.
Oh, in Espanol. Sure, why
I
not?
appreciate you is my
We've
favorite.
already started though. On that note, go. Let's go.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Mhm.
I honor you.
Honored.
Yeah.
Honored. Mhm,
I
mhm.
see you.
Matter.
I recognize your work.
I'm grateful for you, of course.
I give out a lot of cards. Thank you cards.
Mhm, mhm.
Non-verbal gifts, gift giving.
You mean a lot to me.
I love you more than you know.
Aw.
You're awesome.
You make
Yeah,
me
you're a
happy.
star.
I got a huge smile when you said that.
Mm.
You make me
I feel safe with you.
Oh,
That's a nice one.
I trust
wanna
you.
hug you.
I trust you is the way to say thank you, I think. Yeah. I mean, I trust you. That is, I would say that's the way to
That's
say
really
thank
a good
you.
one.
Mhm. Will you be my friend?
Oh, that would be
Cute.
yes.
Our minute is up, guys. That's our minute is up. But we could just keep going though. It's fun. Jerome, do you have any other ones we want to do? What 1 minute games? We've got I thank you. We said thank yous. Maybe we could do.
So thinking, let's think about Thursday, because that's when most of us are.
Mhm.
Well, is everybody celebrating Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I haven't canceled it yet.
Yeah. Such as it is, it's going to be very small.
You'll be sitting across from, whether it's on a Zoom call or across the table. Sorry. Thinking of people that you can tell them how much you love them and appreciate them. Say that out loud for me.
Aw.
I can go with I just appreciate you for being in my life and for allowing me to be in yours, which I think is
Mhm. Mhm.
I actually won't be spending Thanksgiving with immediate family. I'm going to be spending it with friends. So for me, being around that table with a lot of new people that I just met in the last 3 months. So just thank you for welcoming me into your life and your family.
Mine will make me cry. So,
Great, I already beat you. So
yeah, you did. I'm going to see my sister this Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So that's a big deal because I haven't seen her in a while. And so I'm just going to say thank you and I love you when I see her. That's all I'm going to do is put my arms around her and thank her and love her.
Yeah,
So
hugging
mine-
people in person is going to be it's very special these days.
So my brother came a few days ago just for Thanksgiving, even though he didn't want to travel. So I'm just gonna be with my whole family though, and I'm just so thankful for all of them, and I'm so looking forward to this holiday.
This is the first time I'm not going to be home for Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I can't travel to go where they are. So I am also spending it with my isolation pod group. And so I think I'm going to say something like, first of all, thank you for making me feel safe, because I definitely I would have been by myself. And probably something like, thank you for supporting me through this. Wow, all these months when I haven't been able to see my immediate family.
Are we missing? Who hasn't gone?
I think that was everyone.
That was everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel kind of peaceful at this moment when I'm thinking about loved ones and wanting to be with them, and I'm grateful. There's a wish that we could be all together, and at some point I think we can be all together, and I look forward to loving and continuing the love for everyone. Thank you guys for being here, as always.
Thank you so much for having us newbies on.
Thank you so much for having me.
So good to see you guys again.
Thank you.
And Jerome, do you everybody's so quiet and thankful
Yeah.
at the moment.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna break the quiet.
Thoughtful place.
Yeah. I won't be celebrating this Thursday, but this weekend I'm very excited for it.
What are you gonna do on Thursday?
Going to Palm Springs with Thursday I'll be expressing gratitude personally. This weekend I'll be with family in Palm Springs, which is gonna be awesome.
It's not, I mean, whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a week from now, I mean, really practicing thankfulness and gratitude is something we can do every day. That is, I think we should do every day. I think as much as possible.
Get a jar. Get one of those, what do you call those jars where you flip the lid and open?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whatever you call those, mason jars. There's what I'm looking for. Some sort of mason jar. And every day, write yourself a love note. Put it in the mason jar. At least 3 of them throughout the day, your love note. And one of those days that you're not feeling so well, pull out the love notes that you sent to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Read it and know that you wrote that from your heart to yourself.
That's beautifully said.
One of the coolest things done for me in this COVID thing was I had a friend randomly just send me a box with a letter and socks and some llamas things and unicorn things and but it was just out of nowhere, and it was like, and then the letter was so sweet and genuine and heartwarming, and I want to do that for everybody at some point. Letters of gratitude for the world. I think that there's actually, I think when we do the blog for this, we'll include some cool activities or ways to express gratitude, like the jar or other activities, journals and prompts and things like that. So
you could also do that for your partners.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody really.
For your parents, you can do it for your kids. You can do it. It's the endless.
You could have like a gratitude date where you go every Tuesday at 4:00. We get together and be grateful about some stuff. Like that, we have a standing cocktail grateful date. And you could do it with any group of people, or just do it with yourself, or have a day and you go, you know what, I'm going to tell, and this is something I try to do. I'm going to try to thank people for everything that they're doing. And just spend the day, and it's so warm. Like when I'm feeling sad or depressed or selfish or anything like that, I find the best way to counteract that is to be grateful for as much as I can. So grateful day besides Thanksgiving, right? So we're going to wrap up right now because it's 5:00, but thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody out there watching, make sure you share, like,
thank you so much.
Comment, and check out Certified Life Coach Institute. We are thankful for you guys watching, and we're thankful for your shares, your comments, your likes, and all of that good stuff. Jerome, did I forget anything?
We'll be back here next Tuesday at 4.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.